Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to week 15 recap of commercial diving school. This week was underwater salvage week, so I got a lot of stuff to cover for you guys, and I'm also going to be talking about next week and what we're doing, because next week is our last week before we go down to the deep water training facility in Ocala. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and leave any comments or questions for me down below. So I want to start it off with what we did Monday for this week. We started off in the classroom, and the lesson was on offshore oil, and we also had a lesson on mixed gas. And then a key point that we also talked about was body measurements. So in commercial diving, it's a big thing to know like the lengths of, like, let's say from the bottom of your hand to the tip of your finger, because you never know when you have to take a measurement when you're underwater, and you can't just pull out like a tape measure and measure things. So you kind of use how long some of your body lengths are, basically either your arm or your full arm's width or whatever, so you can kind of guesstimate lengths and everything. So and then we go on to Tuesday. We started our lesson on salvage in the classroom, and we basically split up into groups of three. So 3 different teams that we're gonna all get 1 day each. So team 1 was gonna go Wednesday, team 2 Thursday, team 3 Friday, and we're all gonna get a chance to raise up a boat that's sunken on the bottom of the river. So I'll talk more about that in a minute, but I also want to mention on Tuesday we took 2 tests, and those tests were on offshore oil and mixed gas that we learned on Monday. So after the tests and everything, we split up into our individual groups, and then we got to working on our salvage report. And basically the salvage report was kind of like our NDT report, and basically what you do is you come up with like a 5 or 6 page packet, and the packet has your company name, maybe a logo, like a phone number, and then it has your procedure for lifting or salvaging the boat, and it has like your phases, what materials or itemized list that you're going to be using, just all stuff like that. And you have to put it together with your team and turn that in, and that counts towards your grade. And then on Wednesday, it was groups 1 turn to raise the boat. And basically the stuff that you get to use is lift bags, which fill with air after you've attached it to the boat. And if you can attach enough lift bags to the boat, you can overcome the gravitational pull of the boat, and you can actually raise it to surface. So that was our mission. And the first group to go didn't really get it raised up, because your end goal, you want the top edge of the boat, like the top lip, to be above the water line so that you can pump out the water that's inside the boat with a small little trash pump. And you like basically get the whole class to stand in the boat, and then you take a picture of it. That's the goal that everybody was trying to get to. And like I said, group 1 didn't really get there. And then on Thursday, it was my team's turn. So we got all of our materials ready, and we got set up. And first, I was a swimmer. So the swimmers actually bring the barrels. You can actually use barrels too. They're plastic 50-gallon drum barrels in substitute of lift bags, because we don't have enough lift bags to lift the boat, so they have to improvise with these barrels. And you can basically fill them up with air the same way you would fill up a lift bag. And you need swimmers in the water that just basically wear their wetsuits, their mask, and their fins, and they basically swim the barrels or lift bags to the divers that are on bottom, so that they can tie them to the boat. So you're basically working as a team, passing things to them. So I got to do that. And then right after I was a swimmer, I got to be a diver. So the group the people that were on my team that went before me, they attached the barrels to the boat, and it was my job to fill them up with air along with another diver in the water with me. The pair of us were working to fill up those barrels, and then once we realized that still wasn't enough barrels or lift bags, we started attaching more and more and more and more, until the front of the boat actually lifted up, like this. So one side was still on the bottom, and the other side was, the front was lifted up. And then it was our turn to get out of the water so that other members of our group could have a chance to, do their work on it too. So that was my experience. And then on Friday, it was Team 3's turn to go, and they didn't get the boat up either. So no group was able to get the boat up and the water pumped out and got to take a picture with it, like our goal. So that was kind of disappointing, but I had a good time. I had fun. I learned a lot. So it wasn't really, my heart wasn't set on getting the boat up. So I wasn't as disappointed as the other guys, but I was just happy with getting the experience. And then we actually did, after class on Friday, like after muster and everything, after 5 p.m., we went to a classroom, and a few of us actually attended the final exam review, because this final exam is coming up next week. We did a little review where we went over some of the lessons or whatever that's going to be on the test. So we actually stayed late to do that. And then that was Friday. And another thing is, a lot of us needed to catch up on bottom time this week, because you need 1,840 minutes to move on to Ocala, the deep water training facility. You have to have 1,840 minutes, and a lot of us were sitting at 1,500 and needed that extra time. So me included, I had not only the dive that I did on the Salvage job, but 2 other days this week, Wednesday and Friday, I dove as well, so that I can get some more bottom time, and up to my 18 minutes, which I did meet that. So I have 18:45 right now, so I'm good to go, because next week we'll only have a short time to dive, so we needed to catch up this week. Anyways, that's basically everything that we did this week. Next week we have the final exam. We're gonna finish up our scuba, so all the skills that we learned to do, which I already knew how to do because I was certified in scuba already, but those skills that we learned how to do, we're gonna have to perform them, like a practical, probably something like that. And then we also have a course on employability skills, and we're basically gonna work on our resume a little bit more. We're gonna do like classroom stuff where we talk about getting a job and just a lot of talk and whatnot. So kind of a classroom kind of day. And then we're diving in the diving bell. So the diving bell is, like, they call it a wet bell, but you basically hat up and everything, and you sit inside of this bell that's probably like this big, like a little bit bigger than me, and it has your umbilical inside of it, and you hook up to it and everything on surface. And then it has a huge arm. It's not like a crane, but more like a swinging arm that carries it over the water, and then the bell lowers down into the water. So we'll get the opportunity to learn what that's like and see how that is, which I'm super excited about, and I'll try to get video of that too. And then we also have a mixed gas chamber dive, which is basically we're going to go into the hyperbaric chamber, but they're going to introduce helium into the chamber. So we're going to be experiencing what it's like to, breathe in helium and have that, gas that makes you sound like Donald Duck and everything. So that sounds really fun. And then on the last day of next week, we're going to do a brief on going down to Ocala and everything that we're going to need to know. I know it's a lot of information, and I know a lot of you are curious about what they're going to say about the facility and the Deepwater Training Center and how it works and what we're going to be doing and the rules and all that stuff. So I'm going to let you guys know what we learned from that. And then we also have an ice cream social. So we'll be eating ice cream and, just kind of mingling and everything. But that's basically what we got going on next week. And like I said, next week is the last week that we're going to be at the CDA campus, and we're straight going down to Ocala for 1 week, and then we actually get 1 week off for Thanksgiving. So we'll be off from Sunday of that first week, Friday of that first week, all the way until we have to show up that Sunday of that next week. I know that sounds confusing, and that sounds just know that next week is our last week at CDA. The week after that is our first week in Ocala. The week after that is a Thanksgiving break where we have the whole week off. And then 3 weeks after that, we're going to be back in Ocala finishing up commercial diving school. So that's basically everything. So there's a lot of stuff coming up, especially next week. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, leave any comments or questions for me down below. That's all I got for you guys. Have a great one. I will see you in the next video. Peace.